With the Diamond and Pearl remakes being the most talked about upcoming game for this year, as well as the most rumored game, it'd be nice to go into the many new features that these games could bring to Pokemon. These games haven't been confirmed by the official Pokemon company yet, but there have been rumors from the account that leaked a lot of Generation 8 before that was even released, saying they can now confirm that Pokemon Diamond and Pearl will be remade for the Switch. And as this tweet got 46,000 likes, how can I disagree with such a large number? Who needs sources when you have that many retweets? With that being said, a Diamond and Pearl remake is something a lot of fans have been asking for, so let's talk about what we'd all like to see in any remake and what could be implemented for a great new Generation 4 experience whenever these games are recreated. Welcome to the 10 new features for the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes. Number 10. Completing the Pokedex. One feature we'd like to see be remade is being able to complete the whole Pokedex, with every Pokemon in the franchise. As Generation 8 cut a lot of Generation 4 Pokemon, it could be a likely gambit to bet on Pokemon that were cut to return in the Generation 4 remakes so you can get the almost 900 Pokemon on the Switch. There was also Pal Park that was used in the original Gen 4 games, where you could transfer Pokemon from your GBA cartridge at the bottom of your DS into your DS Pokemon game. That whole area of Pal Park would need to be changed. It's just free real estate for a whole new mechanic in Pokemon. Maybe you'll be able to link your Gen 8 game with your Gen 4 remake and finesse the whole Dex through this new area they'd have to create. It'd be nice to be able to complete the whole National Dex, but it'd also just be great to see a lot of returning Pokemon brought back into the next edition of main Pokemon games on the Switch. And I hope that'll be done with the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Number 9. Forums. One feature of remakes that adds something special without being the primary focus of the gameplay itself is adding in new forms to Pokemon. Whether that be forms that are new to the entire franchise, regional forms, or specific forms that add on to main legendary Pokemon to enhance the experience, forms can really bring a different kind of excitement when you get to unlock those for the first time in this newish game. Regional forms would be interesting for a remake of a game, taking Pokemon from other generations and creating them in the light of Sinnoh, but that might fit a Unova remake better, as that was the biggest jump in styles from previous Pokemon to new Pokemon. And you can almost see the new pixels they used in Gen 5 shutting off the characters and all their animation. The more likely forms would be similar to primal forms from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Dialga and Palkia could have a type of form close to those that fit the stories of these new games, but with a different name. Especially seeing as Pokemon Platinum gave Giratina an origin form. A lot of fans were asking for a return of Mega Evolutions, and as I was hoping Arceus could be integrated into the story, the same way Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire made a whole segment for Deoxys this time, and seeing as Arceus is the Alpha Pokemon, they could create Omega forms for Dialga, Palkia, and Arceus, with Giratina keeping to its origin form. Whatever they may be, a form addition to the remakes would be exciting, and it'd be interesting to see what they do not only with legendary Pokemon, but also the regular Pokemon throughout the game. Number 8. The Battlefrontier. Look, we all know what happened in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. We were hoping for the Battlefrontier and then we got this. What even is that? So hopefully this time we get the completed project. Pokemon Platinum's Battlefrontier was also much smaller with less brains than Hoenn, so adding that into a Diamond and Pearl remake wouldn't be as much. Gen 4 also had Palmer, who was basically the star of any Battlefrontier. Out of every Frontier brain, he was the most in line with being a main character, especially seeing as he was Barry's dad. He's also the coolest. Nolan is a close second, but that's mostly because of the anime, rather than how he was presented in the games, like Palmer was as the definitive leader of the Frontier, and how you interacted with him outside of the Battle Tower. What I don't want them to do is to give us the Diamond and Pearl remakes, and then make the Battle Frontier as DLC, which, let's be real, is a possibility after Gen 8, and it would feel somewhat off, like if an ad popped up in the middle of one of my sections. But remastering the Battle Frontier into the games with a little more story and making it really feel like its own adventurous feat will be something that would add a lot to the endgame of the remakes. Number 7. Looker. It's been some time since we've seen our pal Looker. The last time we saw him was on the 3DS, and now he can be remastered on the Switch. Imagine the definition. Lean build, well kept. Thanks to the technological advancements of the Switch, we can finally find out what material his jacket is made out of. Looker was introduced in Pokemon Platinum and was a beloved character in his multiple appearances throughout the series. He has always had a bit of mystery behind him, and was even given a full episodic tale at the end of Pokémon X and Y. Seeing as his first introduction was in Generation 4, this would be the best chance to unravel the mysterious surroundings behind this secretive detective. Fully learning about him washing up on shore with amnesia, telling the story of his Krogunk that was strongly suggested to have been killed during one of his cases, and even having a whole quest where you meet the international police that haven't been shown or even brought up very often in the series. This could bring in the possibility of a new main character, as the head of the international police could be introduced with an international police side quest and the telling of Looker's true origins. Number 6. New stories. While a story itself isn't a new feature, the tales that could be built upon in a remake from the regular Diamond and Pearl games is new in itself. The original game's story was really just villain guy sees universe, villain guy discovers time and space, villain guy as first year philosophy student starts saying things about is the space between you and I the same space between me and you, after the first class, and with confidence. Villain guy gets a little too comfortable with his ideas, villain guy gets sucked into space. I'm just saying, we could really make a spectacular story with the remakes. It could go deeply into how the Pokemon universe was created and the alternate timelines mentioned from the previous remakes and how all of these games could be connected, especially with how confusing timelines can be. For example, Zelda's. I really hope for these games that Arceus is actually integrated into the plot as opposed to being left out in its own dimension. Arceus did have its own event in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but that wasn't to encounter it, it was for one you already had to tag along and unlock one of the 3 legendaries. As well as seeing this PowerPoint. Man, if they made that in an official Pokemon game for an Arceus Quest, I wonder what they do for it in the remakes. Number 5. New evolution mechanics. One of the main aspects that Generation 4 was known for was the bulk barn bin of new evolutions for past Pokemon. And while it'd be pretty awkward to give new evolutions to Pokemon, and then have them be at the end of the National Pokedex right after Generation 8 and before Generation 9, they could focus on a new form of evolution mechanic that would be similar to how Alolan forms weren't taking spots in the Pokedex, but simply in this sub-Pokedex. Things like El Tigre Pikachu could be implemented in different ways, but with stat boosts. Maybe armored Pokemon. I've always wanted to see Arcanine in a metal suit just like Zacian and Zamazenta. I know a lot of people want Mega Evolutions back, and that would be great to see, and while Gigantamax forms aren't my forte, that is another possibility. But with a generation that's recognized for evolving Pokemon, and just the general idea of evolution being explored in this generation, with Arceus again, it seems likely that they would focus on not only adding to a story of Pokemon evolving, but also taking Pokemon evolutions to even more imaginative heights. Number 4. New areas. Aside from just seeing every area we've seen in the original games remade in higher quality, it would be nice to see what new areas could be created to match the theme of Sinnoh. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire added more to Mauville City and made it feel like a new location that was upgraded over time with the same feeling it had back in the day. They also added space, just all of space. And with legendaries and a story based around time and space, there's an infinite number of possibilities for new additional locations to be added. Even just the Distortion world being added into Platinum was a memorable experience. Bringing in alternate worlds that give the same experience as that can really make the game just as good as riding a Mega Dragon into space. But we'll go over some of the possible new locations in the later sections of this video. Number 3. The Aftergame. I know a whole Looker story could be a great atmosphere, the Battlefrontier would be great as well, a whole new Distortion episode just like the Delta episode but for Arceus could create an amazing experience, but what I really want is the Villa back. Look, the Aftergame is something that I've always wanted to see improved in each and every generation, including new remakes, but the Villa, I just want to customize a home. You know how you progressively improve the house and at the end everyone's house was the same? We need some customization. Maybe just a whole MMO to travel around and see everyone else's personally customized villa. What we need is construction from RuneScape brought into Pokemon, where we can not only have a huge number of choices when it comes to furniture, color and decor, but also the structure of the home itself. What about Retirement Island? You have your villa, Cynthia has hers, Red is still alone on the mountain for some reason, and Blue's just living off of his inheritance spending it on a new weekly BMW. What more could you really want from the end of these new games? Number 2. Mythical Pokemon Obtainability. Generation 4 was the generation that really set the sights for mythical Pokemon quests, and made them more accessible through mystery gifts. Aside from accessibility, they also made them feel like little DLC adventures before DLC took over the world. You get a pass, no, not a battle pass, and then get to unlock a house you were never allowed to go into and was curious about. Even if it was just a small touch, it really had you wondering the whole time what could be in that locked house until they gave you the ability to go inside and see it was leading you into a whole new place where you could catch a mythical Pokemon. It was way better than being transported to an island and seeing triangles fly around for absolutely no reason that was shown or told, and instead having a whole event around it. Even the long walk to encounter a shaman and the special appearance of Professor Oak showing you the way made the whole experience of encountering the special Pokemon one to remember. It would be great to see that made again for other mythical Pokemon, and even recreating Darkrai Shaman's event. It's a little less fun to just have mythical Pokemon gifted to you in the Pokemon Center, and even if it's just a small change where the person who does give you the Pokemon is actually a special character you didn't expect to see, that can make it a lot better. But this method of encountering mythical Pokemon through real events that have their own adventure will forever be the most enjoyable way to experience obtaining these elusive Pokemon, and will hopefully be made for every mythical Pokemon there is in all future games. Number 1. An Arceus Quest. The same way we had a whole experience to see Deoxys brought into a game in the way it deserved, a Pokemon who's the creator of the Pokemon universe and the one that ties the legendary trio together really needs its own quest to fulfill how deep this Pokemon is. As I said we were going to go over new areas in a later section, this is the section where we go into what new areas could be created for a whole dedicated part of the main game, focusing around Arceus and its story. Platinum introduced Giratina's Distortion World. What about a properly put together world? Maybe Arceus could bring you through even more space to explore or different dimensions. Game Freak could add a lot with a Pokemon like Arceus. Maybe you could be brought to something that's opposite to the Distortion World, like the Illuminate World. Maybe an unexpected array of unique surprises could happen to you as you traverse through this new world to get to Arceus. Simply exploring would be great, but things like turning 2D while you adventure through the world, or even evolving through all the multiple art styles in all the Pokemon. You can start as 8-bit in this world, progress to 16-bit as you get closer, and slowly make your way back to your original self as you progress through the world and know you're getting closer to this king. This could be a quest during the mid-game when you encounter all the Guardians, maybe during the late game with all the legendaries, or the afterlife. As the Azure Flute was never officially released, and Arceus wasn't given its official event debut in its introductory games, then this is where it can take the spotlight for the first time, in the same way that each of the legendaries did as they appeared in the story, and with the exact same feeling you got when you saw them on the box art. The Diamond and Pearl remakes are a huge chance for Game Freak to do something incredible for this Pokemon that's really only been gifted. And as I said, with the slideshow of just weird images that appear as Arceus unlocks its legendary creation trio subordinates, it's pretty apparent Game Freak knows there's a lot of weird things to add into a new world for us to learn more about the origins of Arceus. This is the chance for Pokemon to really show us a spectacle of an introduction that can't be matched. For now.